South Africa's local government crisis is once again under the spotlight after National Treasury froze funding to 69 municipalities over concerns relating to financial mismanagement and governance failures. The move has reignited debate about accountability, service delivery and the financial sustainability of municipalities, many of which are already struggling with mounting debt, aging infrastructure and deteriorating basic services. The United Africans Transformation has described the decision as a damning indictment of the state of local government, arguing that years of poor governance, corruption and a lack of accountability have left communities paying the price through unreliable water and electricity supply, sewage spills, crumbling roads and failing service delivery. To discuss this further this morning, we're joined by the spokesperson for the United Africans Transformation, Mighty Mabule. Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast Rush on Radio Walinsar.
Good morning, sir. And thanks so much for inviting us, Kanimambo.
It is a pleasure to have you on the program. Now, Treasury has frozen funding to 69 municipalities. In your view, was this the right decision, or does it risk worsening service delivery for residents?
Look, I think it's a good decision. We have indicated many times as United African Transformation that we have municipalities that are dysfunctional. And if municipalities are dysfunctional, that is a negative impact on the lives of the people. So, and the reason why the municipality is dysfunctional is that there's poor governance, there's poor leadership. You have leaders that are not qualified to do the job. They don't even understand what they're doing. So, yeah, I think this is the right decision. We cannot be in a country where budgets are allocated every year in, year out. But when the Auditor General compiled the report, it indicates very clearly that there's millions and millions of rent that cannot be accounted for. And in most cases, the Auditor General always indicates the issue of poor governance, lack of controls, financial irregularities, poor leadership, and so on and so forth. So as United African Transformation was saying, this is a very good decision. Yes, it's a very good decision, and it's quite, amazing that they couldn't see this coming because we've been making noise about it.
Mm-hmm.
You argue that financial mismanagement has become entrenched. Why do you believe existing oversight mechanisms have failed us?
Look, there's a leadership expression that says, when a fish rots, it rots from the head.
Mm-hmm.
And when you want to get rid of a tree, you must uproot it. You don't get rid of the tree by cutting the leaves and the stem.
Mm-hmm.
The basis of this problem is that the origin of this problem is the so-called cater deployment that make these politicians to appoint people that are not qualified to do the job. So when you have members of the oversight committee that are not qualified, that are not skillful, that are not knowledgeable about that particular department, that particular sector, you run the risk of having a very poor oversight, because they have limited knowledge in terms of financial controls, limited knowledge in terms of governance, limited knowledge in terms of proper municipal leadership. So that's the problem. So the oversight is failing, and the genesis of the problem is that they've appointed people that are not qualified to do this job. And I don't even want to mention the fact that you appoint people that have lost humanity. You appointed people that don't love the people that they are leading. You know, when someone has been accused of corruption from one department, you recycle that leader and make him new and give him another responsibility in another department. And it does the same thing and you move him again to another position. A cycle of mediocre.
As we get through to the penultimate question, corruption is often blamed for municipal failures, but some argue that lack of skills and capacity is just as significant. As you've mentioned, people do not know the job that they're doing. Which do you believe is the bigger problem, corruption or lack of skills?
Look, both of them. Both of them, they are myriad of factors that lead to poor service delivery and collapse of municipalities. The Public Service Commission has conducted a study that indicated very clearly that in our government you have people that are not qualified to lead. Yes, to lead those departments. Mm-hmm. So the issue of skills and knowledge, yes, is one of them. Corruption and as well, mm-hmm. And a whole lot of other factors.
In closing, what solutions do you think government should be looking to implement?
I want to be very honest with you. Where if you look at what has been happening in our democracies, over 32 years of democracy, and the damage is so irreparable that, there's a time where the car had to be written off because repairing it might be more expensive. So what our people have suffered from because of this government, because of this organization that has actually failed that for the past 8 years, I think we need a new thinking. One thinker once said the problems that we have cannot be solved by the level of thinking that created them. So this level of thinking that created this problem, there's no way that we can still expect solution from the same thinking. So I think we need to take a very radical approach and say, that's far no further. Thanks so much, you contributed to the downfall of our country. Now the people must decide on the 4th of November when they vote and understand that the power that they have, they've been transferring the power that they had. They've been transferring it to wrong people for a very long time. Now it's high time that we are guided not only by our own consciousness, but above all by our own humanity, and also take into consideration the sufferings of the people on the ground.
Mighty Mabule, thank you very much for your time this morning and insights on the topic. We wish you a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you so much for inviting us. We really, really appreciate the opportunity.
You're most welcome.
Join us again tomorrow morning on TBR.